this episode, I'm going to tell you how I personally and help my clients get out of a rut when you just feel stuck, when you're in that space where you just feel frustrated, you feel misaligned, and you just can't get out of it. I'm going to tell you exactly what I do and how I lead them to get out of that rut so they can live their life in alignment, feeling energized, and just loving life stress-free. If you're new to the podcast, my name is Harrison Orr. Welcome to the Be Better podcast. I am a husband, father, health and performance coach that specializes in helping people to stress less, sleep better, and perform at their best. I'm also an absolute addict for mushroom supplements, hence the business, Primal Energies, as well as all things health. And I want to share some of those lessons that I've accumulated over my years with you guys so that you can get the lesson without the scar. And so this happened to me personally recently when I was feeling in this rut. Like, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and we're just not making progress. And when I say we, I mean like my wife and I, like us as a household. Like, we were always working hard, we were just always hustling, always grinding, and just putting all this effort into work, and we just felt like we weren't getting anywhere. It's like, what are we doing wrong? Why are we in this space? When you're in that space, you get frustrated. You get triggered really easily. Like, something insignificant or something really tiny will happen where maybe someone doesn't hear you, or maybe they laugh at your misfortune, or something happens, and instead of just brushing it off or just, a non-reaction basically is what it really deserves, you get frustrated, get angry, have a go at them, or react in that way that triggers you. And like, for some people that's anger, for some people they shut down and then block the person out, they go give them the silent treatment, some people yell and scream and carry on. And I know for me, when I'm in that lower vibrational state, when I'm in that reactive space, when I'm not aligned with where I want to be in life or who I want to be in life, anger feels like my default emotion. And when you're in that space, that projection of that emotion onto other people can really damage some relationships if you're not careful. Like, if we're not on top of that, we're not looking after that, we're getting angry at people that don't deserve it. We potentially abuse people that don't really deserve it. We say things that are just not very nice. And there's a lot of people in our life that don't need to be here. They don't need to be in our life. And so treating them that way is not very nice. And it's a surefire way to push the people that love us away. And so if you're feeling like you're in a bit of a rut, whether it's with your health or it's with your finances or your business or just in life in general, maybe you feel like you don't have the direction or the clarity that you'd like to have, I'm going to break down what I've done. And the first thing that I tell all of my clients and anyone that comes to me with this same issue, where I guide them and what to do about it. And part of this, the strongest part about this, is getting to know yourself. Because when you know yourself, like truly know yourself, you can self-diagnose a lot of these issues very fast. And so in the coaching space, a mentor once told me about this system that I use with a lot of my clients now. And it's for when you have this inkling that something's not right. When you started to get into this rut, there was like these little hints of something not being right. These little hints of frustration or anger coming out. These little hints of something just wasn't right. Like, what hard work feels like. Like, there's a difference between knowing, okay, cool, this is going to be hard work. It's going to take some time, some energy, some effort, and I'm going to have to put in to get out. But there's a difference between that and this doesn't feel like we're moving the right, like, it's hard, but it doesn't feel like it's the right kind of hard, if you know what I mean. And so that system, and we only can really, I guess, get better at this system is really in hindsight, like when we're looking back. And that system for identifying what is wrong, I guess, is this feather, brick and bus system. And so you only really get better at this when you're able to look back in hindsight and say, oh, that's what that feeling was, right? Because if you're not in if you've never been in the position that you want to be in, it's really hard to say, well, how would it feel? right? What would that hard work feel like? Right? Do I push? Do I pivot? Do I give up? Is this not for me, or is it what it's supposed to be like? It's hard to tell when you're in that moment and you've never had that forward experience. And so, what that first feeling kind of feels like is like that feather. It's that tickle of, oh, I don't really know about this opportunity, this person, this relationship, this business, this job, this space, whatever it is. But if you ignore that and you go on long enough, eventually that feather becomes the brick and is a bit more in your face in terms of taking notice and like, hey man, or hey woman, this thing that you're doing is not in alignment with you or where you want to go, right? I'm giving you a chance now, by in speaking from this space as, God, if you believe in him, or universe, source, or energy, whatever it is, but something is telling you, hello, change your direction. There is something in here that is not for you. There is a better path, but you need to change something right now. You need to change jobs, you need to change this partner, you need to change what you're doing, you need to change something because it's not right. And you keep ignoring this. And then eventually you get hit by the bus, and that bus is going to run your ass over. And that is something that you cannot ignore. If it's a relationship, they cheat on you and they break up with you or they divorce you, and because that's as far as it will go. If it's a health scare, I've literally had people that have ignored all these signs and have ended up in hospital because they don't listen to their heart and their body trying to tell them that they are overstressed. You need to chill out and listen to your body for a little bit. Maybe in business, it's being sued or going bankrupt or something like that might seem like a horrible thing at the time and might seem like the worst thing ever, but look into it deeper. Is this a blessing in disguise? And so when you get to that point, you don't have a choice. The universe, God, whoever you believe in, is forcing you, hey, this is not for you. I told you change it or I will do it for you. And now I'm stepping in because you haven't done anything. At that point, it's not a very, very pleasant experience. And for us to then change, it's a full 180 or 90 degree change. It's not just a slight couple degree correction of course, right? And so how we get better at identifying what it is that we need to change is knowing your values, knowing what you hold highest in how you make decisions and how you live your life. And so when you know what your values are, like what your actual values are, like when you're living in alignment, what values you're living by, it can make it very easy for you then to identify, well, if I'm in a rut right now, I'm not in a space that I'm happy with, or I'm not on a direction or a course that I'm happy with, which of my values am I not in alignment with right now? Like, I can tell you from personal experience, health is my number one value above all else. I will sacrifice money, I will sacrifice relationships, I will sacrifice literally everything, anything to make sure that my health is number one. And it just always has been that way. Like, it didn't, even at one point, my version of health obviously has changed over the years. At one point in time, my version of health was going to the gym for 2 hours a day and having a six pack. Right? Rightly or wrongly, that's what I believed health was. And so when I was working double, even triple shifts in the kitchen at the time, wouldn't get home till 11, 12 o'clock at night, every single day, without fail, 6 a.m., I would get up, double scoop my pre-workout, watch or listen to some motivational shit, drive down to the gym, train for 2 hours, if time permitted, and depending on my start time for work. Otherwise, I would just go straight there and straight to the gym and then to work. Train for 2 hours, and then come home or go to work and go about my day. On other days that I was working split shift, I would get to work early because I was lucky enough to be working at a restaurant on the beach, get to work, run for an hour and a half, go for a swim in the ocean, work for four or 5 hours in my break, then go to the gym, come back, and then finish the night shift. Like, my life revolved around that because that's what I loved. And I was happy doing that, right? A good example of this, which I think really emphasizes this point, is it was not only my highest value, but it was part of my identity. Like, I identified as that fitness freak, as that health nut, as that gym guy, as the guy that was just fit, that was ripped, that was lean, that was like, that obsessed about it almost. To the point where at that same job, the owner offered me $50 to eat a Krispy Kreme donut. Held it in front of me. He's like, dude, if you eat this, I'll give you this $50 note right here, right now. And I said no. It wasn't worth it to me because it wasn't just $50. It was, what am I compromising in order to eat this donut? Like, I'm not just compromising my values, like, I'm also conceding to their little joke, maybe, of let's see if we can break him. The guy that doesn't eat sugar, the guy that eats nothing but his meal prep and just won't stray from the plan, the super disciplined. And I prided myself on that. And so it wasn't only it wasn't only the money, but also I knew that I would have to live with myself, right? They might just have a laugh, we made Harry eat a donut, and then go home. But then I have to feel shit about myself because I compromise my value for somebody else. And so that's just not worth it to me. And so when you know what your values are, it can make it very easy for you to figure out in life where you're misaligned and where needs some work. Because whilst this might not be a perfect system, if you're feeling like you're stuck in a rut and you don't know what it is, when you know what your values are, it gives you a pretty good direction of where to focus. Like for me, my values are health, growth, security, personal development, and challenge. Personal development is growth, peace and calm, and challenge. And so I know that if I'm out of alignment with any of those values, that my stress levels are higher, that I'm not as energetic, I'm not as clear-minded as I usually would be. I get triggered easily, I am more frustrated, all these little things which eventually, that tickle, that brick in the bus, they escalate over time, left unchanged. And so I'll put a link to a value survey which you can do for absolutely free. It's not associated with me at all, but it's just this quick survey which you can do, and you click on the link and it'll take you to this page and it'll lay out 50 different values. And so you skim through those and then pick the top 10 that resonate with you. And then after that, it'll ask you, would you prioritize health or wealth or family or this or that, whatever ones you picked. And then it'll give you your order, your top 5. And then this is where you go on feeling. Like when you read those in order, does it feel right? Does that feel right to you? And then you can use it, like stress test it. Think about a time in your past where, due to your decision making, something has not worked out. Maybe you tried something, you burnt out, you really didn't like it, you went against your gut instinct or something like that, and it didn't work out. Or you ended up in a place where you weren't happy and didn't like life. Did you go against any of those values? Like, were you misaligned to any of those values quite heavily? Quite possibly. And then on the flip side, in life, when things have worked out, when you've felt your best, you've felt your most aligned, you've felt your most energetic, and you're just fulfilled and just loving life, have you been doing something or things that have been very strongly aligned with these values? And that can start to give you feedback. Because then now we can start to future pace this, or use this as a tool, I should say, for the future. And then so when you're making decisions, be it a location move, be it a business or a job or a big decision, use your compass, like your values, as a test. Do I have to compromise any of my values in order for this decision to go this way? Or for goals as well. Like a lot of people might have financial goals, right? And you might say, awesome, I want to be able to make $500,000 this year. And that's going to take me working 100-hour weeks. Right? But if two of your top values are your health and your family, and finances doesn't really fit in your top 5 values, you're probably going to have a hard time, because working 100 hours a week doesn't allow a whole lot of time for you to prioritize your sleep or your training or your health in any decent volume. It doesn't allow a whole lot of time to spend with your family either. And so, is dedicating all your resources and all that time to making that money, is it worth it? Right? And sometimes you might say yes. You're like, I only need to do this for a year. I only need to do this for a few months, and the reward after that will be I can work less, I can have that time back for my health, for my family, for all those kind of things. And awesome. Dude, go on the grind now, do what you have to do, and to set yourself up for later. I'm all for that. But just do it knowing what you're sacrificing in order to make that happen. Because for some people, if that's a long-term play, it might be a no. So for some people, despite the good money that you get from working fly in, fly out jobs in the mines, on the rigs, all that kind of stuff, the fact that you have to be away from your family so often is a deal breaker. They're like, dude, I fucking love my family, right? Why? I want to spend every weekend with them. I want to work from home. I want to go to my own bed and sleep next to my partner every single night. I couldn't do that, regardless of how much they were going to pay me, right? Other people are like, thank God, I can't wait to get away from my family. 2 weeks is like heaven over there. It's structured, it's routine, it's peace and quiet, it's great, right? But know what you're sacrificing. And so, coming back to being stuck in a rut, when you know what your values are, you can very easily do something about it. And so, that leads into the second point, which is like figuring out why you're in this rut. What's causing you to be in this rut? Is it something that you have control over, right? Is it something that you can control directly? Because if it's something like your health or your finances or your relationship, your business, then there's definitely something that you can do about that, right? I know it's been overused as an analogy, but going back to COVID, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut because you're stuck inside because the government won't let you leave, there is very little that you can do about that. Unless you have a passport or immunity or can cheat the system somehow, there's not a whole lot you can do about that, right? But looking to the variables in which you can control. If you've tried things before, whether it is for your finances, your business, your health, your relationships, and you're in that space where I don't know what it is, it might be time to actually speak to a coach or speak to someone else, a third party that doesn't have a personal involvement with you and your life, that can see things from an external perspective. Because it's hard to read the label from inside the bottle, as they say. When you're in it, when you've got an emotional attachment to things and you've been seeing things the same way for months, if not years, it can be really hard for you to actually pinpoint, well, this is an issue, this is being unaddressed, this is where this frustration is coming from, and see it that way. But when you talk to somebody else that doesn't have that attachment and has some experience in working with other people in that same situation, it can be much easier for them to identify, well, this could be the cause. And especially if you haven't done a lot of work on yourself or had a higher level coach or mentor before, a lot of people will navigate towards addressing the symptom. Oh, well, I get angry at my kid or my wife, so anger must be the problem. Or, I need to learn how to control myself when they don't do what I want, or they don't hear me, or they yell, or they cry, or whatever. Okay. But anger management might be a issue for you. It definitely has been for me in the past. But there's a reason that you have that anger. Like I said when we started this podcast, it's that anger for a lot of people, and I know I say this because I know this definitely is a personal experience too, it's a projection of how we can be feeling. Like, realistically, some of the stuff you get triggered at, you get angry at, does that warrant that kind of response? Probably not. Like, it's not that big a deal that it warranted you blowing up over it or getting angry or frustrated or you internally stewing over this or getting anxious and stressing over about it for so long. Right? Like, it's not that big of an issue. And consciously we know that. But subconsciously, when those emotions kick in, then that's a whole different story of trying to control that. And so for a lot of people, you go a bit deeper. How stressed are you? How much sleep are you getting? How in alignment with your values are you? Do you actually have a purpose for what you're doing at the moment? For what you're doing in life? For your job, for your career, for your finances, for the direction that you're heading? Do you have a direction that you're heading? Because if these things are somewhat important to you and there's a blank space there when you get asked those questions, then that can be frustrating for some people. And so when you go that little bit deeper, that root cause can be a fried nervous system. It can be a communication issue with your partner that is the deep root cause of all these fights and bickers and things like that. When it comes to business or to your overall life, lacking that purpose or that drive or those goals can be really defeating for a lot of people. It's just like, well, what's the point? Because then if you don't have goals, when those times come and you just don't feel like doing the thing that you said you would, you don't feel like going to the gym, you don't feel like cooking, you feel like getting takeout, you'd rather just go to watch a movie, just get Uber Eats, or you'd rather just go and spend that money on online shopping because that dopamine makes you feel good and just buying new clothes and buying new stuff. And you just rather do that stuff because it feels good. Like, who cares about saving money? Who cares about looking good? Like, if you don't have a goal, then you can't track any of those things. So does spending the money on those things or not going to the gym, does it make a difference? Well, if you don't have a goal and you're not tracking anything, not really. So then what's the point? Because it's hard to be disciplined if you don't have a reason to be disciplined. Otherwise, it's just self-inflicted pain for no reason. And so finding a purpose and a reason to be doing all these things can put a bit of life back into you, essentially. Give you that energy, give you that life. Because I found the people that have that purpose and have that clarity, they know their values, they know where they're going in life. They, even if their health is a little bit subpar, they can have energy and drive and discipline for days because they've got a really strong why and a really strong goal. On the flip side, you can get someone that has immaculate health, right? They eat well, they sleep well, they, on top of their stress and their mental health, they've got a pretty chill job, pays the bills, and they don't bicker with their partner or anything like that. Like, everything is pretty neutral, but they just feel flat. They just feel lethargic. They just feel like blah, right? There's no spark to life. And then, because beyond that point, it's not really physiological anymore. It's like, what for? Like, what are you doing this for? Why are you waking up in the morning? What are you doing with life that excites you? Is there some big mission that you want to achieve? Is there something that you want to do with your day or with your life that excites you, that is a reason to get out of bed, that is a reason to stay disciplined, that is a reason to go to the gym, to save the money, to have those hard conversations, to do all those things that you say you know that you should do, but you're just struggling to do? Because you know that they're probably going to be the same things that get you out of that rut as well. And so when you've gone through that phase of, cool, Harry, I know my values, I've cemented them, I know what they are, I'm confident with them, I'm starting to get confident with who I am as a person and where I want to go. I'm starting to set some goals and give my life some more purpose. What else? What do I need to do now? I've set some goals. I've got some purpose. Track your goals. Track your progress. Set up some reflection, be it daily, be it weekly, monthly. Set up some reflection points so you can track your progress. Because tracking your progress, I guarantee, will help keep you motivated and help keep you out of the rut when it sucks. Right? When that grind sucks, when you're working long hours and you haven't got that big payoff yet, when you're in that deep calorie deficit and you haven't hit your ideal body just yet, when you're in that tough period and you're not there yet, being able to see that little inchworm of progress moving in the right direction, that consistency, will do wonders for your mental health, will do wonders for your discipline, will do wonders for you staying on track. Because if you can't see that, if you have no way of knowing, how much better you are compared to last month or 6 months ago or 12 months ago, it can be really deflating. And a lot of people just throw their hands up like, oh, fuck, what's the point? I'm not where I want to be. I thought I'd be where I wanted to be right now. I thought I'd be a millionaire. I thought I'd be jacked and shredded. I thought I'd have this amazing relationship. I thought that would happen by now, but it hasn't. And so part of tracking that can also help to reset your expectations. Because naturally we want things to happen as fast as possible. But then if you track this progress, you can say, well, I put this effort in, this is the result I'm getting out, and so based on this level of input output, I will be at my goal in X amount of time. And then you can do a couple of things with that. You can either say, awesome, I'm happy with that timeline, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Or you might say, I'm not happy with that timeline, how can I put more in and make this happen faster? That might be working out more, that might mean saving more, that might mean investing more money in yourself or into your business or doing something to fast track those results. And if you're someone that is impatient, like me, you want things to happen yesterday, one of the greatest things that you can do is buy back your time. And when I say that, I mean invest in a mentor that will help you to shortcut time. Invest in a mentor either in terms of buy their books, listen to their podcasts, listen to people that have done the thing and helped other people do the thing that you're trying to do. And then the next step beyond that is actually get personal mentoring or coaching from them, because they will be able to help you shortcut that time. But don't get it mistaken, like it still takes hard work, it still takes time. They can't lose the weight for you, they can't put the money in your bank account, they can't do the work for you, but it can be reassurance that you are on the right path, that you are doing the right things, and that you are doing the most that you can with the resources that you have available. And I don't know about you, but for me that is a huge peace of mind. If I'm trying to do something that I haven't achieved before, I like having the confirmation from somebody else that has done the thing and has helped other people do the thing, for them to be able to look at me and what I'm doing and saying like, yes, you're doing the right thing, keep on doing this and it will work and you will get there. Awesome. That removes the self-doubt and the time and energy that I would spend sitting there of like, well, is this right? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And then I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in that space, fucking Instagram and social media knows exactly when I'm in that space, and they start showing me those ads of those other people, that shiny woman in the red dress, to use Alex Hormozy's quote, and that distraction of people saying, no, you were trying to lose weight that way, you're an idiot, you need to be doing it this way. You were trying to grow your business this way, you're an idiot. This is the proven method to do it in 2024 and blah, blah, blah. And then we get distracted and then we jump onto that bandwagon and do that for a little bit. Like, oh, I'm stressed, I hit that same brick wall. And then we change. And that in itself is costing us time, energy, and money. But when we have someone to say, no, this is what we're doing, this will work, if you stick to it long enough, trust the process, get that energy of self-doubt out of your mind and put that into executing right now and just get it done. And so for me personally, that has been the greatest use of my money and my resources, in being able to buy back that time for that confirmation, and also their tips and tricks on how to do things faster and more effective, and also with less input. The less you can put in, the more you get, and the more you get out is how you win in life. Right? That's obviously how businesses make stupid amounts of money, because they've figured out that ratio. But I'm no expert on business, so don't listen to me for that. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope if you're stuck in a rut right now, if you're maybe banging your head against a brick wall, feeling like, I've been doing this for so long, why am I still feeling this way? Why am I not looking the way that I want to look? Why am I still getting frustrated, angry, and bickering over trivial little things? Like, why? I just don't know. I hope this this episode has given you some clarity on what to do about that, a bit of a plan. So to recap, check out the values formula below in the show notes description. I'll chuck a link in there. Do that. Assess those. Do they feel right to you? Look at your life. Where are you misaligned with those values? Where are you not in alignment with those values right now? And pick a few small things that you can do today that would be more in alignment with those values, and go and action those. Remember, luck favors those who take action, right? Not just the thinkers. You need to take action on this stuff. Take action on those things so that you're in alignment. Have set goals. Set goals in a direction for yourself, for your life, that align with those values, right? You can also add a value. An advanced hack has added an extra value in there that you don't have yet, but you would like to have in terms of the person that you want to be. But move in that direction, and then set ways to be able to track those goals and that progress as well, to make sure that you're on track, that you can correct course, that you can reset expectations if you need to, but you can track yourself to see how you're going so that you can stay motivated, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward. Above all that if you're still needing more guidance, more accountability, then find a coach or a mentor in that space has done it ideally, but also has helped other people to do the thing that you want to do, that can help you get to where you want to be faster in life. So I hope that's helpful. If you feel like that's something that I might be able to help you with, then the email link is down below. You can reach me on Instagram if you want to have a chat. We can see if what I do work for you. Otherwise, go find that person. I hope this has been helpful. Like always, don't be sorry, be better, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.